Sandra, have you seen my End of the World Dr. Pepper?
Hashtag get a life.
No, hashtag I need it. Hashtag End of the World right now because Mr. Zimmerman is gone. Hashtag where's Waldo? Thank you.
I'm playing trivia. Leave me alone.
Well, I got it back. So have you heard about this digital citizenship?
Hashtag speak correctly.
I can't right now.
Sit.
Because the digital citizenship fiasco. Have you heard about it?
Why? Hashtag why?
Hi, I'm here with cool kid Mr. Morris.
That is so true.
So
I am the cool
funny.
kid.
Yeah, you are so cool.
You watched the video about me.
Hey, we need to talk to all of you about just a quick reminder. We know you know this stuff, but I'm not really sure you really know the Minnesota state law. And
On bullying and digital citizenship.
And
apparently I can read.
Yeah, and we really need to talk to you about it because just the things that have been going on at school that have affected teachers, that have affected other students. And we know that you can be cooler than that and kinder than that, and that's what we're here to talk to you about.
Yes, so we're going to go ahead and go through this with you right now.
All right, so here is actual wording from the Minnesota state statute that we just thought we would remind you about, or maybe you don't even know about, and it really does affect all students in the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, and this is something that everybody, including not only students, but teachers need to think about, and it works both ways. This is not something where it's just protecting students, but it's protecting teachers, it's protecting, out in the workforce. It protects an employer and an employee. And this is something that's all entailed in this law.
And also, when I was at camp this summer and I was working at Gustavus, they had all the staff had to be trained before we could even start camp, talking about bullying and harassment. And it's a big deal, whether it's a tech school, colleges, or whatever. And if we're at a high school, then aren't we preparing you for the work world in the tech school and the high school? Absolutely. So that's why we really need to make sure you understand what the law is out there. So any intentional effort to harm anyone is bullying, whether it's direct or indirect. And an indirect way might be you get a picture, you're really mad at somebody, you forward it on. And all of a sudden, even though you didn't take that picture, you got it, but you want to cause some kind of harm to somebody, you forward that picture. And if that person perceives it, maybe you never even intended it to be bullying, but if that person perceives it to be bullying, it's bullying.
Yeah, and that's something that you have to take very seriously. There was a law created in Massachusetts based on this idea. A student was being bullied through social media, and they created a law called Phoebe's Law because the student ended up committing suicide because they perceived what they were perceiving on social media was bullying, and the students that were responsible for the bullying were actually prosecuted in a court of law. So this is very serious, what we're talking about with the indirect and direct bullying that can take place on social media.
And I know that there can be certainly physical, verbal, mental, sexual harassment and bullying, but something that I didn't really think about is even if you do nonverbal, like some kind of gestures, and I guess it makes sense, but even if you do gestures against people and that can be considered bullying. So
if you give one of your friends the stink eye in class or one of your teachers,
don't do that to
can
me.
be, yes,
do not do that to me.
I will not give you the stink eye.
All right. And also that whole thing about retaliating. Sometimes we get really angry, teachers, we get really angry with each other, we retaliate. And all of a sudden, retaliation, we don't think about as bullying either. We're just like getting even with somebody. That can be against the law as well. So just really be careful with that.
Spreading hurtful or demeaning material, forwarding via text, email, social media, any of those things that you do that could be, again, perceived as hurtful even through social media. That's something we have to be careful
Right,
of.
and think about that word demeaning. I mean, if you're trying to destroy someone's character, you're trying to destroy them, and that is definitely bullying, and again, against state statute.
Yeah.
So just please keep these things in mind. Mr. Morris and I have seen way too many tweets and just way too many yik-yaks and way too many things on Facebook, and we're just shocked by it. I don't think I see very much maybe bullying in the school, but I certainly see it on social media. So no matter where it's at, it's against state law, and you can be prosecuted for it.
Kind of a rule of thumb that we go by, and I even do it in my classroom, is, kind of have that attitude and that kind of philosophy or mantra here at Perm High School that we're not going to be a school that puts people down, but we're going to try and encourage people and build people up.
So that really does lead us to being really good just digital citizens. I mean, just think about that. I mean, I like this picture in a way. I mean, it does represent you as this kind of like solid tree, and where are your roots? Aren't your roots in kindness and caring and trying to be the best person you can be and getting ready to leave this place and having this great legacy behind you? And when you Google yourself, other people will Google yourself and they can see that you are a great person, that you are a positive person, that you are leaving behind good, and that you are promoting yourself in a positive way instead of a negative way. I just don't see why you think that putting anything out there that's not kind is a good thing.
Yeah, you want to be really careful, and I know even with one day when you go to apply for a job, you know, what you put out there on Facebook and what you put out there on YouTube or what you put out there on Twitter, those are things that your employer one day is going to look for when you're in a job interview, and they're going to want to see a very positive use of digital tools, digital social media, because those are things that are very, very valuable. We're not discouraging you from these things, but we want you to use them responsibly.
And just think about, I know it's maybe for you a leap, but having your own kids, this is not going to go away. So when you try to tell them and try to teach them how to be a good and kind person, all they have to do is Google you and find out what you put out there. I mean, it is a legacy. It's not just work. It's not just college. It's not just a tech school. It is truly a lifetime, and that's what the legacy is all about. So be like the cool kids that we are.
Hashtag be cool.
Hashtag be cool, really?
Yes.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right.
Anyway, good luck.